The Boys Season 3. So, The Boys Season 3 takes place a year after the events of the previous season. The story follows the boys now working for Victoria Neuman's Bureau of Superhero Affairs to apprehend problematic Supes, having been at peace with the Seven. However, the conflict is resumed once Butcher begins to investigate the truth about the apparent death of Soldier Boy, one of Vought's first American superheroes, with the hope of killing Homelander for good. Meanwhile, Homelander's mental stability begins to deteriorate as Vought attempts to restrict his powers, while other Seven members such as Starlight and Queen Maeve assist the boys in their plot against him. So, oh my god. Well, first of all, I need to say something real quick. I'm going through a little bit of a cold right now. So I'm going to be talking I'm going to be talking less. So yeah, I do have a sore throat. So it happened, I caught it just last night. I woke up this morning and my throat was like really awful. It was just icky. My throat felt really icky when I woke up this morning. So I'm taking cough drops and taking some medicine right now, so to help me feel better. So that's one thing. So that's the thing I had to say. But yeah, season 3, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I was waiting so long for this show to come back. I mean, season 2 came out not 1 but 2 years ago, 2020, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was September 2020. And I was just waiting for this show to come back. And, and then, after season 2, there was the pandemic. And then, the cast and crew, they were writing, they were developing, the script and, the screenplay, all of it for season 3. And then when it was safe to, to actually film, to actually go back and shoot the season 3, it was like sometime like later in last year, 2021, and now here we are. And then it was just a moment, it was just a matter of time to wait patiently for any news, any official news about season 3. But yeah, so all of our casting has come back. And all of our cast members, all of our main cast, they have returned, but with a newcomer, Jetson Echols, playing Soldier Boy. And I do remember, actually, this is a fun fact, by the way. Jetson Echols, he is reunited. Jetson Echols is reunited with the showrunner, Eric Kripke. The first time they worked together was Supernatural, and now they've come back with The Boys. So that was a nice little reunion for the two. That must have been a nice reunion for the two of them. But yeah, Jetson Echols is playing Soldier Boy. And this guy, I mean, obviously, he's a parody of Captain America. He has, he's wearing a patriotic costume. I mean, the colors are different. But he's a patriotic superhero. But he wears a patriotic costume, and he has a shield, like Captain America, who wears a patriotic costume and carries a shield. So, yeah. And this guy, like Soldier Boy, Jetson Echols does an amazing job playing this absolute asshole. Like, Soldier Boy is an asshole. He's a dick. He's a complete dick to, who physically abuse and assaults, his other teammates, especially Black Noir, who we're going to be talking about. So, yeah, there will be some spoilers. So I remember when the season 3, there was like the teaser poster for season 3. It was Billy Butcher, Carl Urban's character, and his eyes were glowing like orange/yellow, and the tagline, the caption for the poster was "It's time to level the playing field" or something like that, And I was like, and we were all like, are the boys gonna get superpowers this season? And the answer is yes. So, and then the trailer came out, and they created, there's like this new, like, untested version of Compound V. It's called like Temp V or something like that. It gives people who take it superpowers, but it only lasts for 24 hours. But there are side effects to taking the serum, like vomiting, for example, vomiting and bleeding and nauseous, all that horrible things. But yeah. And in this season of The Boys, we really see Homelander, really start, as the plot of this season said, his mental stability is beginning to deteriorate. Like, he's losing his shit, like, mentally. He's losing it. And I feel like, at the season 3 finale, in the season 3 finale, he meets Ryan, and he's at the protest. He's like, not the protest, but like a rally, and there's like a lot of Homelander, people, supporting Homelander, a bunch of, his fans, and then there's like this one Starlight protester, who like threw something, like, I think it was like a soda can. He threw like this thing at Ryan, and then Homelander protects Ryan, and then he lasers the protester, whatever, the guy, and then everyone, you think, at first you would think like, oh my god, Homelander, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, are the people gonna go against him? Are the people gonna start running and screaming? But no, they start cheering him on. They start supporting him. And I'm like, oh, God, well, that backfired. I feel like going into season 4, we're going to be, Homelander is going to get more and more reckless with his powers in public. Like, he just killed, someone in front of, a crowd of his supporters, but still, I feel like he's going to get more and more reckless and unhinged with how he uses his powers out in public, and to the point where something's going to happen. I don't know what. I can guess, but I don't know what. Something's going to happen, and then he's going to snap, and, something awful, extremely awful is going to happen. So, yeah. And, the boys, especially Billy Butcher, he wants to use Soldier Boy against Homelander. And they free him, and he gets out, and then it's revealed that Soldier Boy is Homelander's biological father. Like, it was an oh shit moment. Like, oh what? It was an oh what moment. And, and then, like, in season 8, in season 8, no, I don't think it's going to last that long, but episode 8 of season 3, in the finale, instead of teaming up with his son, Homelander, Soldier Boy is like, no, I gotta stick with the mission. I gotta stick with my mission. I gotta stick with my purpose. I have to kill you. I have to kill you. And, yeah, it was like a little civil war. It reminded me of the Marvel Civil War, where, like, everyone's like going against each other. They're picking sides, and everyone's going against each other. And you know, the boys, including Soldier Boy, Starlight, and Queen Maeve. They're like, you know, should we kill Homelander, or should we not? You know, they're picking sides in the finale. So yeah. This season was also a great character moment. Actually, you know what? Let me scroll down to the cast. I got my notes here. So, you know, Billy Butcher. This is a really great character development for Billy Butcher, Black Noir, and Mother's Milk. Those are like the top 3 characters in this season. You know, because in one episode, it was the Mindstorm, like Butcher, you know, Billy Butcher, Huey, and Soldier Boy. They tracked down one of the members of Payback. Mindstorm, I believe that's his name is. And Mindstorm, like, he trapped Billy Butcher in this psychological torment where he's like reliving his past memory. We get to see a young Billy Butcher, his young father, and his little brother Lenny. We finally get to see what happened to Lenny, and it was so tragic and so sad how the character committed suicide. He took a gun. He couldn't, Lenny, Billy's little brother couldn't handle the abuse from his father. Billy left him, and he took a gun and shot himself in the head. And that was so fucked up. And then, Huey is also having some relationship issues with, Starlight, with Annie. And, he took the temporary compound V, and he's, like, addicted to it. Like, he loves the powers, He can teleport, Not only does he have superhuman strength, not only does he have super strength, but he can teleport. Huey can teleport from, anywhere on the planet. So, yeah, and like I said, he has, he's having some conflict with him and his girlfriend, Starlight. And then, Homelander. This is all about Homelander. I think I believe it was episode 3 or 4, but at the end, Homelander is like, well, first of all, like, Stormfront is back. That's right, Stormfront is back. There was a little, like, thing, like, there was a little news that said, like, Aya Cash may not be coming back to season 3 of The Boys. And then she does make a guest appearance in here. She did commit suicide on Homelander's birthday, which spiraled him down this dark path. Like, Homelander is trying, quote unquote, to save this woman from committing suicide, from jumping off a building, and then, like, behind him, there's, like, there was this news that, that played that Stormfront committed suicide, and then Homelander doesn't give a shit anymore. He's like, you know what, I think you should jump. You know what, I think you should jump. And, yeah, that was awful. But you know what, this character's awful, so, yeah. Yeah, and then, like I said, we find out, Soldier Boy is Homelander's biological father. And then Homelander reunites with his son, Ryan. And he's like, I don't care. I don't hate you. I'm your father, Ryan. No matter what decision you make, I will always be there. I will always love you. Like, and that's a scary thought, too. Yeah. Just imagine two Homelanders. I hope Billy finds some way to bring Ryan to his side, to the side of the boys. So that, Ryan is like a secret weapon. Could be like the most powerful secret weapon that, the boys can use against Homelander. But at the end of the season, it doesn't look very good for the boys, and especially Billy Butcher. But yeah, as I said, with Starlight, she's having, Starlight and Huey are having conflicts with each other. There are some things that, they're apologizing for, that they're doing behind each other's backs. They're struggling, their relationship is struggling with each other in this season. Huey is so addictive is becoming an addict with a temporary compound V, the temp V thing. And then Starlight, like the first couple episodes of this season, Starlight is putting together her own super team so that they can all fight against Homelander. But unfortunately, that didn't go so well because Homelander killed Starlight's ex-boyfriend, Supersonic, on that rooftop, which was so fucked up. Like, we really see, like, Homelander, he's like, he doesn't really care. Like, he threatened Starlight, if you don't stop doing what, putting together this team against me, I will kill your boyfriend, Huey. That's what Homelander said to Starlight. Like, that, that will be Huey. Yeah. And then, Queen Maeve is working with Billy Butcher. She's giving him, more and more, like, doses and vials of the temporary compound V. The two of them hooked up, in Billy's apartment, and that really took me by surprise. Because, I did read the comics, and Queen Maeve and Billy Butcher, they don't have a romantic relationship in the comics, so that took me by surprise. But, yeah. Yeah. Like, Queen Maeve. Oh my god, this, later in this season, she gets kidnapped, and then we didn't see her for an entire episode, and then the next time we see her, she is, locked up in, like, this basement under the Vought tower, and she's like, and then she physically fights Homelander, and unlike the comics where, Queen Maeve did die at the hands of Homelander, here she survived, and she sacrificed herself to save everyone in that building against Soldier Boy's, like, chest burst, like his energy chest beam, but it turns out that Queen Maeve is actually alive, but the public, doesn't know that. But she's living her life with her girlfriend, Elena, far away from Homelander, far away from all the superhero business, safe and alone. And she doesn't have any powers, Queen Maeve, because of, So yeah, that's the one thing that I think the boys can use against Homelander. Like, Soldier Boy, his chest burst. Like, his chest burst. It can depower any superheroes near him. Like, it just wipes out, it, like, vaporizes, it incinerates the compound V inside their blood, like, in their DNA or whatever. Like, it just fires it out. Like, so yeah. And then we have A-Train. So, in this season, like, the past two seasons, like, especially season 1, A-Train's such an asshole, like, and we, the audience, we didn't like him. Like, this guy went through Huey's ex-girlfriend, Robin, and he literally ran through her. He was literally holding on her hands, and he laughed at Robin's death. Like, A-Train was laughing about, and this guy is such... A-Train's so horrible. It's such a horrible character. But in this season, I actually started liking A-Train a little bit more. Like, he wants to protect the African American... Not just his... he wants to protect the African American people, like the black people. And he wants to protect his people, especially his brother, who, he's... A-Train is, rebranding himself. He has a new costume, but he's being restricted. But, he's being restricted by Vought. Like, he wants to do things, he wants to say things, but, Ashley, who's the CEO of, who's now the new CEO of Vought, is not letting him do what he wants to do. And A-Train, he wants to protect, like I said, like this superhero, Blue Hawk, who's like physically abusing black people, and he's a racist. And, it kind of parallels and reflects, real life, especially with the protests, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, all that, and in the in the communities center. Blue Hawk starts, like, physically attacking all the black people there, including his brother, who we find out, like, is now hospitalized. Like, he's crippled. He's crippled and won't be able to walk again. And then A-Train gets his revenge on Blue Hawk and, like, smears... My God, it was so violent. It was so violent. Like, he smeared his face all over the pavement. Oh, my God. And then we find out that A-Train has... a new heart, like, he goes into cardiac arrest. A-Train, he goes into cardiac arrest, and when he wakes up, Ashley's like, we gave you Blue Hawk's heart. We gave you his heart. And at that moment, I was like, everyone was like, every audience and reactor on YouTube were like, what? They did what to A-Train? They gave him, like, heart surgery on him when he was, when he was out cold. Yeah. And then, moving on, we have Mother's Milk. We have Mother's Milk, who Laz Alonso does a great job. He really delivers a very strong performance in this season. I believe in one of the seasons, one of the episodes of this season, Mother's Milk is driving with Starlight, and he's telling Starlight about his history, his past with Soldier Boy. Like, Soldier Boy killed my family. He's a racist asshole superhero. He's a racist superhero who killed my family. He, like, I think he said, like, he threw, like, Soldier Boy threw, like, a Benz, like, maybe a Mercedes-Benz, like, across his, like, in his, like, through his apartment. It missed him. It missed, Mother's Milk, but his grandfather wasn't so lucky. So, yeah. So, it's a great character development and a character moment for Mother's Milk. And then he finally gets his revenge on Soldier Boy when he uses the gas to, like, knock him out. They find out that the weakness, Soldier Boy's weakness is the same gas that the Russians, I believe it was the Russians used on him, like, the first time when they were experimenting on him. So yeah, this season is a great season for character development. And then, speaking of character development, we also have Black Noir, who, Soldier Boy really impacted, negatively impacted the characters of Mother's Milk and also Black Noir, who we find out in the season his real name is Irving. Soldier Boy is like Ben, but through flashbacks. By the way, the flashbacks were very Looney Tunes. Were very Looney Tunes, but you know, it fits so well with the tone with the boys. Like, they aren't afraid to do things. Let's just say, let's just put it like that. All right, they're not afraid to do things. So yeah, and then we get to see Black Noir's, you know, his past through his flashbacks, his history with Black Noir's history with Soldier Boy. Like, Soldier Boy physically abused and assaulted his team members, especially Black Noir. Like, he beat the shit out of Black Noir. Like, he, you know, to the point where he can't talk, where his brain is all mushed. Black Noir's brain is all mushed, and he can't talk. He has like scars all over his body. Jesus Christ, it was so brutal and extremely violent, especially like in animated form. But yeah. And, you know, also the Deep is having some... the Deep is just there for comedic relief. He's just everywhere. Every scene with the Deep, I'm trying myself not to laugh or cringe. Because it's so... Like, he fucks an octopus twice in this season. Oh my God. And then a Homelander made the Deep eat his best friend, Timothy. Rest in peace, Timothy, the octopus. Jesus Christ. Fucking Deep. Oh, yeah. And also, I want to talk about one of the issues I had. This is actually the first season. Not only is Season 3 the best, in my opinion, the best season of The Boys yet, but it's also the first season where I actually picked out some issues. I had some issues with the season. For example, like one of the side plots, even though it was a great character moment and I guess character development for Frenchie and Kamiko, I felt like it was a subplot. I felt like it was a subplot that introduced even more characters to this season and into the show itself, that I felt like, you know, there was a lot going on already, and now we're adding this to it. We're adding this into the mix. It's, you know, Frenchie and Kamiko, and, you know, Frenchie's history with this woman, little Nina. I just thought that it shouldn't be. I felt like that whole subplot shouldn't be there. It had nothing to do with the main plot of the season, which is, you know, using Soldier Boy to kill Homelander. But I don't know. I guess it's just me. And also another issue I had was the episode 5. Episode 5. You know, the first 4 episodes. A lot of crazy shit happened in the first 4 episodes of Season 3. Episode 5, when, you know, from beginning to end, it felt like a slow burn. Like, there was minimal action, very little action in Episode 5. And a lot of dialogue, but also a lot of development. Like, you know, a lot of development with both the characters and the story itself. But despite that, I still felt like it was a slow-paced episode and felt like it was a slow burn. But like I said, that's just my opinion. I'm just telling you my honest opinion, no lies. But yeah, that's what I felt. But episode 6 is another issue I had. Even though episode 6 was my favorite. By the way, episode 6, which is titled Herogasm, because I heard that I heard Eric Kripke was doing their own adaptation for the Herogasm story in the Boys comic book. They're doing a version of Herogasm, and people were like, this Herogasm episode was so anticipated. It was highly anticipated overhyped. It was overhyped, highly anticipated, and Herogasm, I felt like it was just in the background. I felt like the title is called Herogasm, but the actual Herogasm happened in the background of the episode. Like in the foreground, it's Billy, Huey, Soldier Boy going to find the TNT twins and then killing them at the Herogasm event. But yeah, I felt like it was so hyped. I felt like the whole episode was so hyped. Like this whole crazy event was so hyped, and at the end of it, I wasn't focusing on Herogasm. My mind wasn't focusing, on Herogasm. It was focusing on the plot of the episode. Like I said, the three of them going to find and kill the TNT twins, but also Homelander found out that Soldier Boy's alive, and he's flying over to the Herogasm to kill him, to kill Soldier Boy, and which leads to a fucking epic battle between like it was Soldier Boy and Billy Butcher against Homelander. The two of them fighting Homelander. It was so awesome because we finally get to see Homelander in action. Like he physically is like in a confrontation. He's in a physical confrontation right now. In season 1, in the past 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2, Homelander doesn't really fight anybody. He's just walking around, flying, walking around, lasering everyone. That's it. He's just using his lasers to kill everyone. But this is the first time. But in this season, we get to see him actually physically fight, and him actually doing something instead of being lazy and just lasering people. Like, it was awesome. I would have liked to see a depowered Homelander and how Homelander would have feel if he was physically, vulnerable. But they didn't do that. He flew away. But yeah, episode 6 was awesome. But I was kind of let down with the whole Herogasm event because the show hyped it up so much. People were talking about it. They were, the boys were, tweeting pictures, of the episode, and it was just a kind of a letdown. But it led to a really awesome fight between the three of them, and then like Huey teleports into the fight, and with his confrontation against Homelander, which was awesome. It was awesome. But yeah, and also Ashley. I'm talking about the character of Ashley. Ashley is starting, in this season, we get to see Ashley starting to turn into Homelander, like a human version, like a normal human version of Homelander. Like, Homelander, like, she's scared. Like, she's saying all these awful things that Homelander said to her, and she's repeating it back. She's repeating his lines to other people, and not because she's a bitch, but because she's scared of Homelander. I really feel like she's that scared. But yeah, this season ends with Queen Maeve sacrificing herself. Queen Maeve sacrificing herself, but turns out she's alive. The public doesn't know about it. She has no powers. She lost one eye, but maybe season 4 she might wear an eye patch, which is something Starlight joked about. Soldier Boy is alive this season, and he is in the custody of Grace Mallory. Homelander reunites with his son, Ryan. The two of them attend a rally, and Homelander kills a Starlight protester after he physically, threw something. I think he threw, a soda can, like an empty soda can at Ryan, but Homelander protects his son Ryan, and he lasers the protester, the guy, and then instead of everyone like screaming and running away from Homelander, they're like, "Fuck yeah, Homelander! Woo!" They're like supporting him for what he just did, for his action. And I feel like going into season 4, we're gonna get a more like reckless Homelander. Like Homelander is gonna be very careless with his powers and how he handles it and how he uses it in public, out in public in season 4, which is a very extremely scary thought. Another scary thought is Ryan, who you know, the last shot of, you know, this season is Ryan slowly smiling on, you know, and that's a scary thought. Like, I believe Eric Kripke said that, you know, I believe it was Eric Kripke, I don't think it was anyone else, but anyway, he said that, and, you know, going in, you know, into the future of the series, of the show, there is a very scary thought. And that is not one, but 2 Homelanders running the world. And that is going to be extremely dangerous. Or, you know, maybe Billy can find a way to bring Ryan back onto the boys' side so that they can use Ryan and teach him to be better than Homelander. Teach him the right way. And I don't know how they're gonna kill Homelander off. I really don't. But yeah, it's a very scary thought. But anyway, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and also Victoria Neuman is working with Homelander. She gave Homelander Ryan's home address, and meanwhile Homelander helps Neuman. You know, he tells the Deep to kill like the former vice president, so that Victoria, she can be the new vice president of the United States. So yeah, and then Billy's like, that bitch has got to go. So she might be the next villain so Victoria might be the next villain of season 4. I don't know if they're going to introduce any other characters in season 4, but I believe Victoria is going to be the next villain. So going into season 4. So yeah, that is all. I think that's all I have to say. Oh yeah. And Homelander killed. Yeah, I feel so bad for Black Noir, but yeah, Homelander killed Black Noir. He literally whipped his guts out for Black Noir not telling Homelander about, you know, his biological father, Soldier Boy, who was alive this whole time, and he didn't tell him until now, which was a very sad moment, because I wanted to see Black Noir finally, you know, get his justice, finally get his revenge, but then he was killed, so I never got that chance. He never got his revenge on Soldier Boy, which is so sad, so sad. But anyway, that's all I have to say for The Boys Season 3. I'm so happy that the show is back. I've waited, it feels like forever, but it's finally back. I know they're gonna shoot, I think they're gonna film Season 4, like sometime in August, somewhere in August next month, which is very soon. So yeah, they're like right now, like Eric Kripke is reading like a couple drafts of the scripts for Season 4, and yeah, they're ready to roll. They're ready to roll, and they're getting prepared for Season 4. So yeah, if there's something I haven't mentioned about this season, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know about it in the comment section below. What did you think about this season overall? What are some things you liked? What are some things you didn't like? What are some things you wanted to see more or less of? anything of that in the comment section below. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to listening to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of that great stuff, and I will see all of you lovely people really soon.